I got these brand new American Classic mountain bike tires for $48 a piece. That isn't a sale, there was no discount. That is their everyday retail price. At nearly half the price of a comparable Maxxis tire, do these tires offer half the performance? And to celebrate these tires, what is more American than this manly mustache? I have a mustache now. These tires are sold exclusively through Amazon and have 4 different models. The rear-specific Basanite, the Vulcanite for looser terrain, the Tectonite for hardpack, and the downcountry Mauka. That's Hawaiian, I had to look that up. The other 3 are named after rocks. That's cool. The 3 night or rock tires are offered in a trail casing, which I have here, or an enduro casing for just $2 more per tire. The trail casing features dual compound, while the enduro casing features a softer triple compound rubber with extra protection. By my scale, both of these tires weighed 2.4 pounds, which is actually identical to the Maxxis Minion and Aggressor I'm taking off this bike. That is just under 1,100 grams per tire. And I just want to take a quick second to admire the clean and simple design of these tires. Minimal riding, a neutral color, no bright yellow lettering, and they're just a really good looking tire. These look far more premium than that $48 price tag. I put these tires and my Maxxis tires against each other in some timed testing. The results are actually kind of shocking, but we'll get to those later in the video. Installing these tires was honestly a pain. I could not get these tires to seat for the life of me. I even used soapy water, which usually conquers any challenging tires, but I had no such luck with these things. I eventually gave up and took it to my local bike shop to use their air compressor, and even that struggled a bit to seat these. Once seated, however, they didn't go flat overnight or lose that much air. I did get a set of American Classic gravel tires for my DSX, and I had 0 issues seating those at home. I don't know why these tires were so difficult. They were definitely the most I've ever struggled seating tires, unless you count a fat bike. On the trail, I'm running 23 PSI front and rear with no tire inserts, and you can instantly tell how grippy these tires are. The dual compound rubber is fairly soft, and you can just hear them digging into the ground. I mean, look at this tread pattern. It's very aggressive, so that all makes sense. I was especially impressed with the Basanite's ability to maintain traction in loose climbs. That rear tire never spun out on me. Braking traction is also pretty impressive. I don't remember ever skidding this tire out unless I really put some force into the brakes. The Tectonite has these nice transition lugs to help with cornering, which is something the Minion is missing. It felt natural and smooth to lean these tires over into a corner, and the grip is pretty awesome. I'm willing to bet the enduro casing is even more grippy, but that's way more tire than I need for this hardtail. I will say there is a bit more rolling resistance from these tires than the Maxxis ones. I noticed certain sections where I stopped pedaling, the bike was slowing down a bit more than I'm used to. Also in climbing, I had to put in a little extra effort to keep it up to speed. To sum up how they feel, slightly more sluggish than my Maxxis combo, definitely more traction in the rear, and maybe even just a smidge more traction up front. It honestly wasn't a life-changing difference between these tires from the Maxxis ones, which is really awesome given the big price difference. Durability-wise, I've had 0 punctures, and I didn't lose any air pressure on any of my rides. I took this bike down Rim Trail and Rock Soft, which are both pretty rocky trails that could easily tear a tire, but the American Classics had no issues. Pretty impressive on this bike because there's no rear suspension, and the front fork isn't really designed for this hard riding. These tires did a great job keeping me tracking straight, going where I was pointing the bike, and they offered enough cushion that it wasn't the harshest ride I've ever felt. Sure, I'm going a bit slower down these trails on a hardtail, but I never once thought, oh, I'd be going so much faster if I had Maxxis tires. Are you ready for the shocking timed comparison results? Of course you are. I did timed testing on the climb up to Shrain Train and then descending down Shrain Train, and the American Classics were actually 5 seconds faster on the climb and less than 1 second slower on the descent. The climbing difference blew my mind because they felt so much more sluggish and slow than the Maxxis tires. My diet is trash, so I wasn't like in peak physical condition that day or anything. 5 seconds is pretty substantial on a climb. The less than 1 second difference downhill, I guess that matters if you're in a race, but I'm not racing, so I'm pretty impressed with these times. I have nothing against Maxxis tires, but as they're approaching nearly $100 per tire, I had to start looking for an alternative. The big question though, of course, is long-term durability, and I can't answer that yet because I've been riding these for only 2 weeks. In my rides so far, I have been trying to take them on a variety of trails and push them to their limits a little bit on rocky and rough terrain, and so far they've been pretty excellent. So do these half-price tires offer half the performance? I'd say absolutely not. These are a solid option given the price tag. If these were the same price as a Maxxis tire, I would say go with the tried and true brand, but at nearly half the price, I'm willing to take a gamble on $48 tires. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of these tires. Are they a viable option, or are you gonna keep feeding the Maxxis monster? In my opinion, the best way to get Maxxis prices to come down is to start buying some of their competitors. I will of course post an update if these tires turn out to be awful or fall apart in the next week, but initial impressions are very positive. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, stay rowdy within reason.